So, let's get started. Debt. Why do you wake up feeling exhausted, even after a full night's sleep, as if your body's charging cable is plugged in but nothing's powering up? You went to bed on time, you got your full 8 hours, and yet the moment you open your eyes, it feels like you never slept at all. You stare at yourself in the mirror, heavy eyes, foggy head, that dull ache behind your thoughts, and whisper, "What's wrong with me?" But here's the truth. You're not weak. You're not broken. You're just drowning in sleep debt, and your body has been silently keeping the receipts. Because sleep isn't just about how long you're out. It's about how deep you go. When you spend half the night scrolling through your phone, worrying about tomorrow, or replaying old memories on repeat, your brain never reaches the deep, healing stages of rest it desperately needs. Sure, you close your eyes for 8 hours, but your body only rests for 4. And those missing hours, they don't just disappear. They pile up, quietly, invisibly, until every morning feels like your body's way of saying, "Hey, you still owe me." Thousands of years ago, humans didn't have alarms, deadlines, or screens lighting up the night. When the sun went down, so did they. Their brains slid naturally into deep, peaceful cycles. Real rest, not the artificial kind we chase today. But now, we fall asleep next to glowing rectangles and buzzing thoughts. Our brains don't power down, they just dim, half awake, half dreaming. Every skipped night of true rest adds to that invisible debt. And no, one long weekend of catching up won't erase it. It takes time, routine, and the right kind of quiet. Start small. Turn off the screens 30 minutes before bed. Make your room dark, cool, and calm. Let your brain understand. It's time to rest, not react. Because you don't need more sleep. You need real sleep. And when you finally start paying back that debt, you won't just wake up rested. You'll wake up alive. Fairness. Why does something tiny, like someone cutting in line, make you feel like the world just went to war? Someone cuts in line, and suddenly, your blood starts to boil. A coworker takes credit for your idea, and you can't stop replaying it in your head. That's not pettiness. That's your fairness instinct, an ancient alarm that once kept your ancestors alive. See, back in a tribe of 30 people, fairness wasn't about manners. It was survival. If one hunter took more meat than he shared, others went hungry. If someone cheated, the balance broke, and the tribe could collapse. So your brain evolved to go nuclear when it sensed unfairness. It floods you with rage, adrenaline, and that tight feeling in your chest, the same chemical storm your ancestors used to punish cheaters and protect their people. But now, that instinct misfires. Someone takes 2 free samples at the grocery store, and your brain acts like they just robbed your home. A rich guy buys another yacht, and it feels like a personal insult. Your boss gives praise to someone who didn't earn it, and suddenly, it's life or death all over again. Your ancient brain can't tell the difference between unfairness will destroy the tribe and this is just mildly annoying. It only knows one thing. Unfairness means danger. So you rage, you dwell, you replay it again and again because deep down, your brain still believes your tribe's survival depends on everyone getting their fair share of mammoth meat. Final words. And that's the thing about your mind. It's ancient software running in a modern world. It doesn't care about traffic jams, office politics, or who double-dipped in the salsa. It only cares about survival. So the next time you feel that surge of injustice rising inside you, take a breath. Tell your brain, "Hey, we're safe now. There are no saber-toothed tigers here." Because the moment you understand your instincts, you finally start to control them. Reciprocity. Ever wonder why a tiny favor, like someone holding the door, makes you feel like you owe them your soul? Someone holds the door open, and suddenly, you feel this little pressure, that invisible voice whispering, "Now you owe them." A coworker buys you coffee, and your brain starts calculating ways to return the favor. You're not overthinking it. You're just running ancient survival code. Back in tribal days, Reciprocity wasn't about being nice, it was about staying alive. You share your mammoth meat today, and I share my berries tomorrow. That simple exchange kept everyone breathing when the world was cruel. But if someone took and never gave back, they were cut off, left to starve. So your brain evolved to panic when someone helps you. It creates this psychological itch, one that doesn't fade until you even the score. That instinct built teamwork. It built trust. It built entire civilizations. But today, that same instinct is being hijacked. A free sample at the store suddenly makes you buy a $20 box of snacks. A car salesman hands you a coffee, and somehow, you're signing papers for a car you didn't even plan to buy. Your brain doesn't see marketing strategy. It sees, tribe members shared food. Now I must repay or be cast out. That's why you say yes to favors you don't want. That's why you feel guilty for saying no. Because your mind is still wired for survival, not sales tactics. Your prehistoric brain can't tell the difference between, they shared food so I don't die, and they gave me a free keychain. It just knows one thing: debts must be paid.
Heard. Ever caught yourself copying a crowd without even knowing why? Like your brain just said, don't think, just follow. You're walking down the street when a group of people suddenly looks up. Without hesitation, you look up too. You don't know what they saw, a plane, Superman, maybe nothing. But your head's already tilted, your instincts already fired. That's not stupidity. That's your herd instinct, the survival code buried deep in your brain. If everyone's doing it, I'd better do it too, or I might not make it. Back in the wild, hesitation meant death. If your tribe started running, you didn't ask questions, you ran. The ones who stayed behind to think it through didn't survive long enough to pass on their DNA. Following the crowd meant food, protection, and safety. Your brain even rewards it, giving you tiny hits of dopamine every time you blend in. It's your biology's way of saying, good job, you're not alone. But today, that same instinct is out of place. Now, it makes you buy things you don't need, because everyone else is buying them. It makes you follow viral trends, copy opinions, and wear things you secretly hate, all because standing out feels dangerous. Your ancient brain can't tell the difference between follow the tribe to water and follow random people online doing a dumb challenge. It only knows one thing. Being different once meant dying alone. So you conform. You scroll. You imitate. Not because you want to, but because a small, primal voice inside still believes that safety lives in the crowd.
Unknown.
Why does something new, a place, a sound, a change, make your heart race, even when you know you're safe? You step into a dark room. Your heart pounds. Your hand freezes on the light switch, your brain whispering, "Don't move." You see a strange dish on the table. It smells fine, but something deep inside you says, "Don't eat that." That's not weakness. That's ancient survival programming, hardwired into your DNA long before electricity or Google Maps existed. To your ancestors, unknown meant danger. A rustle in the bushes wasn't curiosity. It was a life or death decision. Run or get eaten. That strange berry on the tree, it might taste sweet, or it might stop your heart in seconds. There were no second chances, only instincts. So your brain learned one simple rule. Familiar means safe. Unknown means risk. Fast forward thousands of years, and your brain is still running that same code. That's why you keep ordering the same meal, why you stay in a job you hate, why you scroll past new opportunities and whisper, maybe later. Your modern world is full of new things, new paths, ideas, chances, but your ancient brain can't tell the difference between predator in the dark and new restaurant downtown. To it, both feel dangerous, so it keeps you safe but small, protected but stuck. And every time you ignore that new thing out of fear, your brain feels proud, even while your heart quietly wonders, what if I'm missing out on something amazing? Because deep down, your brain isn't scared of the unknown. It's scared of not surviving it. Control. Ever felt your heart race when things don't go your way, like you're losing control of something bigger than you? You're sitting in the passenger seat and someone else is driving. They take a turn too fast and suddenly your foot slams an invisible brake. Your chest tightens. You're not even driving, but it feels like your life is on the line. That's not overreacting. That's your ancient control instinct, the part of your brain that still believes being in charge is the only way to survive. Thousands of years ago, the ones who controlled their surroundings, who built stronger shelters, stored food, and planned ahead, survived the winter. The ones who just went with the flow, they became history. Control meant safety. It meant warmth, food, life. And your brain never forgot that. So every time something goes your way, when plans work, when things stay predictable, your brain gives you a little reward, dopamine, a small "you're safe" signal. But the moment things slip out of your hands, a traffic jam, a late meeting, a Wi-Fi glitch right before an online class, your brain freaks out like you're about to be eaten by wolves, because it can't tell the difference between "I need to control this fire or we'll freeze" and "I need to control this presentation so I don't look bad." It only knows one truth. Losing control once meant dying. So you micromanage, you overthink, you try to control things that don't even matter. The weather, someone's opinion, how the towels are folded. Not because you're obsessive, but because your brain still thinks one mistake could cost everything. Deep inside, it's whispering the same old fear. If I lose control, the tribe might not survive. Morning. Ever wondered why waking up early makes you tired? Even when everyone says it's the secret to success? You've heard it a million times. Successful people wake up at 5 a.m. So you set the alarm. You fight your pillow. You drag yourself out of bed before sunrise thinking, this is it. This will change my life. But after a few days, you're exhausted. Your focus is gone. You're cranky before breakfast, and nothing feels different. And deep down, you start asking, what's wrong with me? The answer? Nothing. You're just living inside the morning myth. Thousands of years ago, humans didn't all wake up at dawn. Some guarded the night while others slept. Some rose with the sunrise, others took the late shift by the fire. It wasn't about productivity, it was about survival. Your body still remembers that. It's called your chronotype, your natural rhythm. It decides when you think clearly, when you feel creative, and when your body wants to rest. Some people are wired for early mornings. Others come alive after dark. Neither is wrong. Both are nature. But society worships only one type, the early riser. The 5 a.m. club. The hustle never sleeps. We're told that if we don't fit that mold, we're somehow already behind. But what if success has nothing to do with the time you wake up, and everything to do with what you do once you're awake? If your brain hits its peak at 10 a.m. or even 2 p.m., forcing yourself up at dawn isn't discipline, it's self-sabotage. It's like trying to run a marathon half asleep. You're not lazy, you're just mistimed. And when you fight your natural rhythm, you fight your best self. So stop copying someone else's clock. Find your own hours of energy. Protect them. Work when your mind feels alive, not when a quote on Instagram says you should. Because success doesn't belong to the ones who wake up early. It belongs to the ones who wake up aligned. Napfall. What if your 2 p.m. fatigue isn't laziness, but your caveman brain begging you to survive? It hits like clockwork. 2 p.m., your eyelids turn to lead, your focus collapses, and you'd trade your paycheck for a 5-minute nap. You think you're just tired? Wrong. You're ancient. See, thousands of years ago, humans didn't sleep in one long stretch. They slept in 2 shifts, one before midnight, one after. Between those, they'd wake up, check for predators, talk quietly by the fire, sometimes even make more little humans. This rhythm wasn't lazy, it was survival. When half the tribe slept, the other half stayed alert. That's how we lived long enough to invent coffee. Even the midday nap, the cat nap, had a purpose. In the scorching sun, resting wasn't weakness. It was protection from heat, predators, and exhaustion. Fast forward to now, we've replaced tigers with deadlines and campfires with blue screens. But your brain? It never updated the software. So when you're fighting to stay awake after lunch, your mind isn't betraying you. It's whispering, "This is when we used to rest. This is how we survived." And those 3 a.m. wake-ups? That's your ancient self, still scanning for wolves, even when all that's out there is your phone screen. You're not broken. You're biologically remembering a world that no longer exists. So maybe next time you yawn at 2 p.m., don't fight it. Your brain's just trying to keep you alive, one nap at a time.
Loss. What if your fear of losing isn't weakness,
But your brain's ancient survival alarm still, "Don't die!" You find a $100 bill on the ground. Feels great. But lose that same $100 and it ruins your entire week. Why? Because your brain treats loss like death. This isn't about money. It's ancient biology. Your ancestors weren't worried about investments or wallets. If they lost a spear, they couldn't hunt. If they lost food, they didn't eat. If they lost shelter, they froze. To survive, their brains evolved a rule. Losing something is twice as dangerous as gaining something is good. That wiring never left. It's why you hold on to things long after they stop serving you. You keep that stock that's crashing because selling feels like failure. You hang on to clothes you hate because throwing them away feels like waste. You stay in a job that drains your soul because losing stability feels like dying. Your brain can't tell the difference between losing this spear might kill me and losing this bet might hurt my ego. It just screams the same message every time. Don't lose! Ever. So you cling, you delay, you settle, all because your prehistoric brain still thinks survival depends on holding tight, even when the smartest move is letting go. But here's the truth. Sometimes, losing isn't the end. It's evolution. And the only thing you're really risking is staying stuck in a story your ancestors wrote for a world that... Status. What if your endless need to compare isn't vanity, but your brain's ancient way of keeping you alive? You open Instagram, and instantly, you feel smaller. Someone's on a luxury vacation. Someone's buying their dream car. And there you are, scrolling, comparing, sinking. But that feeling in your chest, it's not jealousy. It's survival. Thousands of years ago, status wasn't about fame or followers. It was about food, safety, and belonging. If you were high status, you got the best shelter, the best protection, and the first pick of resources. If you were low status, you got what was left. So your brain evolved a rule: stay admired or stay in danger. That instinct helped your ancestors survive. But now, it's working against you. When a friend gets promoted, your brain doesn't see career success. It sees someone climbing higher up the safety ladder. When your neighbor buys a new car, your ancient mind whispers, they just gained more protection, and you lost some. So you try harder. You post more. You spend money you don't have to look like you're doing fine. Because deep down, your brain still believes, if the tribe breathes me, I might not make it. But here's the truth. You're not living in a tribe anymore. No one's handing out food based on followers. Your worth isn't measured by likes, cars, or clothes. The real success today isn't about outshining the tribe. It's about outgrowing the need to prove you belong to one. So maybe next time you feel that sting while scrolling, don't ask, why am I not enough? Ask, why does my ancient brain still think I have to compete to survive? Because once you understand that, you stop chasing validation and start living free.
If you enjoyed this, like, share, and subscribe for the next one.